Namaste, children. Welcome back to social science class. Children, you have already learned that Babur invaded India in the year 1526 CE, defeated Ibrahim Lodi, the last ruler of Lodi dynasty, in the first battle of Panipat. You learnt in the previous lesson the sultans of Delhi, isn't it, children? Babur invaded India in the year 1526, and after overthrowing the Delhi Sultanate, he established the Mughal rule. You can see later on they expanded the Mughal Empire throughout the country except in the south. Only a very little. Rest all they conquered and established such a huge empire. There were three empires in the history of India, children. One is the Maurya Empire, second is Gupta Empire, and the third one is the Mughal Empire. The founder of the Mughal dynasty was Babur. The founder of Mughal dynasty was Babur. Babur was ruling in a small region in Afghanistan called Kabul. You all might have listened last week entirely about this Kabul since 1 month almost. So Babur was ruling a small region in Afghanistan called Kabul, and he was waiting for an opportunity to attack India, which was rich and prosperous. As you all know, children, our India was very rich and prosperous. So they won all these invasions came because only of this our richness and prosper. To loot all these, the people came. Taking advantage of growing weakness of the Delhi Sultans, Babur invaded Delhi and ended Sultanate's rule. But he could not stop at that because the Rajputs and the Afghans resisted him strongly. The brave warrior that he was, Babur, with his powerful weapons, forced the opposing armies to retreat. Soon Babur conquered Delhi, Agra, and the surrounding areas and established his kingdom. But he died soon. His son Humayun ascended the throne. Later, Humayun came to power. Though Humayun managed to overpower his enemies in the beginning, he had to face defeat at the hands of the Afghan chieftain Sher Shah Suri. Having lost his kingdom, he fled to Persia. He lost his kingdom with Sher Shah Suri. So he fled away to Persia and he stayed there for 15 years. When the Afghan rule in India weakened, Humayun invaded India and conquered Delhi again. However, Humayun died within a short period thereafter. Then comes Humayun's son Akbar. Humayun's son Akbar had always aspired to build a vast empire in India. With this intention, he tried to persuade the mighty Rajput kings to support him because as you know, last year you have learnt about the Rajput kings. Children, throughout North India was ruled by Rajput kings. There were so many Rajput kings families ruling there. Some of the Rajput kings they joined hands with Akbar, but Rana Pratapa Rana Pratapa was from Mewad. He opposed Akbar. Rana Pratapa was a proud and brave warrior. Later on, a fierce battle between the Rana and Akbar took place at Haldigat in Rajasthan. Though Rana Pratapa was defeated in the battle, he did not bow down to Akbar. Thereafter, Akbar engaged himself actively in military campaigns for many years. As a result, he conquered Gujarat, Bengal, Kashmir, Kabul, and other areas, and he built a very, very vast empire. And here, children, after this, let me tell you about the Akbar's achievements. Akbar was an able administrator and a broad minded ruler. He was not narrow minded, very broad minded, and he possessed many of the qualities needed for a great king. He realized that in order to preserve his vast empire, it was necessary to win the trust of Hindu subjects who formed the majority. India was almost, it was in Hindu nation only, so the majority of the subjects were Hindus. So he wanted to preserve, if he wanted to preserve his vast empire, he had to win the trust of the Hindu people. So he appointed Hindus to high post in his court. He withdrew the personal tax called jizya, which was imposed by the earlier Muslim kings on Hindus, and also the tax which was levied at pilgrimage centers for Hindus was also taken back. Akbar's land revenue policy was well received by the people. The land revenue policy of Akbar was framed by his revenue minister Raja Todarmal. Akbar was tolerant of other religions. He constructed a prayer hall, Ibadat Khana, in his new capital, Fatehpur Sikri. In this prayer hall, that is Ibadat Khana, he discussed religious matters with leaders of various Islamic sects. He invited Hindu, Jaina, Buddhist, Parsi, and Christian leaders to discuss their views on religious issues. As a result of such discussions, he evolved a new sect called Din-e-Ilahi. It incorporated some of the best principles of different religions. However, it could attract only a handful of followers. Everybody did not like this, so most of them did not follow this. And about his patronage to art, Akbar patronage literature and art. Faizi, you can see here, Abul Fazl and Birbal Faizi were the distinguished poets in his court, and Birbal was his minister also. The immortal singer Tansen adorned his court. Akbar's contribution to architecture and painting are also remarkable. Children, in the next class, let us know Jahangir and Shah Jahan. They have not taken up much in this. Just I will introduce them later. Let us learn about the Aurangzeb. Okay, children. Thank you.